Joe, you're there?
I'm here.
Okay,
Can I
You're
share
on.
my screen? Can I share
Yep.
my screen?
share your screen.
All set?
All set.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you everyone for providing an opportunity for me to chat with you. I'm a long-standing member of AWSGP, but I haven't been to a meeting in quite a while. And my presentation is going to be on behalf of my Pennsylvania operating affiliate company, ATP PA LLC. We're located in Philadelphia, and you'll hear in a few minutes some of the stuff that we're working on in Philadelphia. But I'm very excited about reconnecting with you guys and looking forward to, as always, to see if there's some ways that we might collaborate. So climate change may be the world's greatest existential threat, but if it's handled well, it also presents one of the world's greatest environmental, economic, and societal opportunities. I'm going to talk to you about our patented combined remediation, biomass, and bioproduct production process and how it helps to create some of those new opportunities. So I'm very excited to be with you this afternoon. I'm a former 33-year economic development professional and a member. I served 6 years as a secretarial appointee to the Federal Biomass Technical Advisory Committee. I invented our CRBBP process and got it patented, and I've invented and licensed other innovative biomass processing technologies, some of which we're going to continue to use in the future. So we're focused on several critical challenges. One, of course, is climate change, where there's a need for cost-effective ways of capturing CO2 and then sequestering the captured carbon. We're also focused on other environmental challenges that are facing air, soil, and water. And we have a particular interest in certain health challenges that relate to contamination like airborne particulate matter, or PM 2.5, flowing into at-risk communities. And we're also, it does not mention here, we're also concerned about tire wear powder, which is also flowing into communities that are downwind from interstate highways. And then lastly, we're also concerned about the urban heat island impact for those urban communities that don't have trees. And in these summer months that are getting hotter and hotter and hotter, there's a desperate need for shade. And we have a way of creating what we call pop-up shade. So again, our solution is our patented CRBBP process. And in that process, we plant and then we multitask very fast growing and large growing biocrops to cost effectively capture lots of CO2 while they are in many cases remediating contaminated air, soil, and water. An example of that is we've planted our crops in the Chesapeake Bay watershed to extract excess nitrogen and phosphorus to keep it out of the bay where it would cause algae bloom. But then we harvest the crops and convert the resulting material or biomass that contains the captured carbon into cost-advantaged bioproducts, and we're hoping to create new bioeconomy jobs as we do that. Our preferred crop, given our goal of capturing the maximum amount of CO2, is biomass sorghum. I'm not saying that we could not use switchgrass or work with switchgrass producers. We can, but as it relates to CO2 capture, our preferred crop is biomass sorghum because it grows very fast and very big. And you can see standard sorghum on the left and biomass sorghum on the right, both at their 6-month maturities. We had an analysis done for us by the University of California at Berkeley, and it showed that biomass sorghum captures nearly 4 times as much CO2 as an equal acreage of trees and about twice as much as switchgrass. And a recent study by Texas A&M shows that in the single growing season, the roots of biomass sorghum will capture and sequester about a ton of CO2 per acre. So it's very productive from that standpoint. So part of what we've been doing is partnering with utilities As you might know, they're looking to reduce their carbon footprint. And we're working with 3 utilities, including Philadelphia Gas Works, which my Pennsylvania operating affiliate is working with. And with them, we are planting biomass sorghum in their sites to capture CO2, harvesting the crop, converting it into biochar, and putting the biochar in their sites to sequester the captured carbon and to qualify for carbon credits. So we've got a project underway in Baltimore with support from the Exelon Corporation, and their operating affiliate there is Baltimore General Electric. We have a project with Dominion Energy, their gas operations in Ohio, and they are actually the first to get crops planted in their sites. We've had crops planted there for about 2 weeks now. And then we also intend to plant with Philadelphia Gas Works, who we've been working with, next spring in their sites within the city of Philadelphia. So the way these demo projects are working, we're working with the utilities to select sites, get the sites cleared. We're planting and harvesting biomass sorghum. And by the way, there may be an opportunity to contract with local farmers to do the planting and harvesting for us. And then we're converting the biomass sorghum into biochar and applying that to the sites, as I mentioned earlier, to sequester the captured carbon. And then we'll be planting either grass or some other form of winter crop as a cover crop. And we're already getting some indications that some of the utilities want to expand beyond the initial demo project that we started, for example, with Dominion Energy this year. We're already talking about new sites with them for next year. So some of the products that we make, in addition to biochar, we make you may know that carbon black filler powder, which is made by purposefully underburning oil, and it has all the arsenic, lead, mercury, et cetera, that's found in oil, is a major ingredient in making composites, plastics, and tires are 30% carbon black. So we are commercializing a new and patent pending way of converting plant and wood material into a bio-based filler powder. And we're fortunate to be among the first grantees of a new federal program called BioMade, which is helping us with that commercialization effort. By the way, BioMade is trying to help create bioeconomy jobs here in the US. As an example of the kinds of products that we could make include taking waste plastic and blending it with our filler powder. And this is a recyclable shipping pallet that we've made, excuse me, in collaboration with the USDA, as an example of the kinds of products that we can make using our filler powder. So I'm extremely interested in collaborating with members. For example, as I mentioned earlier, we may, depending on where the utility locations are, we may wish to contract with some of you guys to plant and harvest our biomass sorghum on certain sites. And in fact, you may wish to collaborate with us to identify utilities that are convenient to you that might want to benefit from this program. And there may be opportunities for us to use switchgrass in some of the bioproducts that I've referred to, including the filler powder. And I should mention that in the Department of Defense budget is funding to conduct research in converting our crops into a chemical warfare protective coating. And we're pretty excited about that as well, because that may present some defense contracts in the future. So, and the alternative is if there's some things going on in Pennsylvania or things that you guys are working on or others that you know of that could use plant material, we might be able to provide biomass sorghum to support some of those projects. And then there may be some other things that you have in mind or your members have in mind that we could collaborate in, and we'd be glad to do that. I'll give you a couple examples. We don't have our own biochar processing unit, and we're we have found some others, including I think 2 in Pennsylvania that we're talking with and working with at the moment to process material for us. But there might be collaborations in the future if we and you come up with other ways of using plant material to make things. And then lastly, I'm sure there's some other ideas that you guys have, and I'll be glad to hear back from you about some thoughts that you may have. So let me stop there, Will, and see if there's any questions or comments that I could respond to.
Any questions? Yes, Andy.
Probably can't hear me. Can you relay, ask them about?
A little louder, please. A little louder, please.
Using agricultural plastics,
Agricultural plastics,
you know, landscape plastic, landscape fabric. It's a huge
landscape fabric. It's a huge problem getting rid of after it's been put down. Any, are you doing any work there with agricultural plastics?
There's a group out of Texas that's been talking with us about, again, using plant material to make plastics. We've got, you know, we've partnered with the University of Akron's School of Polymer Science on a couple of projects. So we're interested in that, but we don't have any, I don't have anything specific to refer to right now. That's an area of interest that we have.
The presentation just before yours, Joe, was Kyle Bennington, who did a presentation on his biochar machine that he's building. Looks quite impressive.
Okay.
With his permission, you want to work with Joe?
His bales are already here.
Pardon me?
His bales are already up here.
Well, they are.
Well, my email address and telephone number are on this slide. If anyone is interested in collaborating in any way or has some ideas or wants more information, feel free to both call me or email me and let me know how we can collaborate. So I just wanted to introduce what we're up to. We have our process is patented, so it does create some protection for activities that fit within it. And I'm a collaborator by nature and look forward to working with the membership. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, is the biomass sorghum seed readily available?
The answer is yes. We work with Richardson Seeds. They're very good at supplying us with seeds and also some advice in terms of how to plant the crop as well. So the answer is yes.
Is it a no-till drill plant?
Can be planted that way, yes.
Is it invasive?
Yes.
Has hemp shown any promise in the work that he's doing?
Has hemp showed any promise in the work that you're doing, Joe?
We've had a lot of conversations with hemp producers. From what we can tell, it does not capture as much CO2 per acre. So we haven't gone very far with it. The other good thing about biomass sorghum, it's an annual crop, which means it creates flexibility for landowners. It doesn't create a situation where they've got to eradicate a perennial. So we're trying to enter into this market in a very flexible way. So we've talked to the hemp folks. We just haven't found an opportunity to collaborate there yet.
Any other questions?
What about miscanthus?
Have you worked with miscanthus at all, Joe?
Well, again, miscanthus is a perennial, and you know, at least the companies that we're working with at the utilities we're working with at the moment want to have the flexibility of putting something on their sites that they don't have to worry about eradicating later, and they're trying to maximize CO2 capture. So we have not we've not focused on any perennials at the moment for what we are sort of promoting and what we're doing.
When's the harvest of sorghum?
When do you harvest sorghum?
October, November, we like to let it dry in the field. And then we can either bale it, but my preference is to use a silage harvester and bag it and be able to ship it off to wherever we need to have it processed.
What percentage of the work does the farmer do with the planting and harvesting? Do they do all of that?
I can't hear the question.
What percentage of the work does the farmer do in terms of planting and harvesting? Do they do all of that work?
It certainly is going to depend on the site, but for example, we engaged a farmer to plant and harvest the Ohio site. When we planted in Maryland's Eastern Shore, we engaged local farmers to do planting and harvesting for us there as well. And actually, there was a situation where there was a Pennsylvania farmer that had harvesting equipment that came out and took care of the multiple acreage that we had out there on the Eastern Shore. So it depends on the site. And if there are farmers interested and capable, we'd like to get to know who they are.
How do they pay? By the ton?
How do you pay, Joe? By the ton, by the acre?
Let me just say it's negotiable. It depends on what makes sense for the farmer and for us. So we're flexible.
What's the yield for a dry ton?
Yield per
About-
acre, dry ton?
It's about 20 tons an acre, 7 of which include the captured carbon.
Anything else? Joe, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, guys. Like I said, if I can be of some help, let me know, and look forward to collaborating with y'all, and think of us if we can contribute in some other way as well. Thank you.
Thank you.